Sydney's making her normal noises. Kristen, what? I'm actually able to watch live today. Hi, Kristen. This is Nick from England. He's usually in the comments. Today he is on my couch. No one on TikTok is able to see him, so he's incognito there. But I don't know. This is Nick. He's English. He's here to learn Ukrainian. And I'm supervising because can't leave him to his own devices. You know, my dad always tells me, I'm actually going to tell you a funny story. I was like laughing my ass off today, and he's so mad at me about it. But so my dad constantly tells me that I am really inattentive and that I just don't pay attention to my surroundings. By my surroundings, he means like, you know, like when I walk down the street in New York, I don't have to look down to make sure that the bricks are attached to the road. I don't have to make sure that, like, you know, the step on the stairs is attached and not like falling off. I don't have to look down to make sure that the pavement is continuous. In Ukraine, this is what you do need to do because, you know, not everything is up to par. And so we were just talking about it with Nick, and then we're walking, and there's a drain, like there's like a tubular drain the size of his foot in width. And it's like not closed by anything, like it's not covered. And he literally walks, steps into it, literally becomes my height for a second and continues walking as if nothing happened and I didn't see it. It was like the funniest freaking thing ever. And like I've noticed that he keeps tripping everywhere. And I just saw his knee because he's wearing shorts. And he has like what is that? Like you have like a little like a
graze.
Yeah, it's like a little, you know, it was bleeding at some point. And I'm just like, so
this has happened before.
I was like, did this happen to you in the UK? Or did this happen since it came to Kiev? It does look quite red. So I do think that he tripped and fell somewhere here. And I'm correct. Grumpy says an oopsie.
An oopsie, yeah, I like the oopsie word.
Oopsie. He's also recorded me today and posted it. We call that road rash. He posted a video of me on TikTok, on Twitter actually, because he was making me say Harry Potter in English.
Well, you were saying it
in English.
All I did was record it.
Well, I was just saying that the only thing I can say properly in English is Harry Potter. And so he was recording it, and then he put it out on Twitter because it was very funny to him. And then he's also been observing me like it's a zoo because, you know, for instance, like, as you might know, I'm a bit on the spectrum, and certain things just bug me. And so I have a carpet, and Cindy runs around the carpet. And so the carpet gets these like little, what would you call them?
Rashes.
No, they're just like these little threads that are sticking out. And so I cut them with scissors. Okay. I sit there for half an hour and I cut the threads. And he was like watching me today being like, what the fuck is going on here?
It was a long time though.
I did not cut all the threads.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. I got bored. Okay. Hi, John. Hi, Grumpy. Hi, Taz. Hi, Last One. Hi, Ozzy. Hi, Odin. Hi, Demon Orb. I love that name. Hi, Don. Hi, Kristen again. And hi, Bombi. Hi, Darlene. See, Darlene says it's lovely English accent. So what I think
she's probably talking about my accent.
No, it was about me saying Harry Potter. However, Yulia, did you hear about the earthquake in NYC today? Yes. Just for the record, most of my friends that I follow on Instagram are in New York. And so, first of all, I received a text message from my best friend Gabby today. And this is what it said. It was like quite funny. Because, one sec, it said, dude, we just had an earthquake in New York, 4.7 magnitude. The world is ending. So I called Gabby and she told me about the earthquake. And then she was like, probably by the time you open social media, you will see it everywhere. And you know what? She was not wrong. Literally like 25 stories in a row was about the earthquake. All of my friends just talking about the earthquake. So yes, to answer your question, of course I have heard about the goddamn earthquake in New York. I feel like you cannot have lived in New York and have friends in New York and not heard about the fucking earthquake. So yeah, I mean, I called Vasil. He said he didn't feel it. So, I guess it was selective. Or maybe like some buildings I think the newer buildings are not as like, they're made out of, I like to call it cardboard. So I feel like you would feel it much more potently than you would in like an old brick building, which is where we live. So yeah. Yulia, did you hear about, I live in central Pennsylvania and didn't feel it, but people, one county over felt it. Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, I heard that some people in Pennsylvania felt it too. That's what Kat was telling me. She's in Indiana. So I was like, did you feel it? And she said, no, but she's heard that people in Pennsylvania did. So yeah, interesting. I mean, hey, women getting punched in the face by crazy men in New York. And, that was a thing like last weekend for 2 weeks in a row. Now it's earthquakes. Like, what's next? Exciting. So exciting. I laugh every time you drop the F word. Why? Heard that one too. A tad late, but present. Greetings, everyone. Hello. So we have a rule breaker here. Well, not a rule breaker. So our rule in this channel is that if you are late and you announce yourself as late, or you apologize for being late, you have to donate $5 or above to a current fundraiser. So I suggest you get on it. New York just likes to be in the news. Yeah, New York loves to be in the news. But to be honest, so here's the thing. This is obviously not about Ukraine, and I'll give it like a few minutes and then we'll transition back to Ukraine. But so normally, the news likes to exaggerate things that are happening in New York. Like people always say like, oh my gosh, New York is so dangerous. Like someone will get robbed at Times Square and people are like, oh my God. It's not like normally I roll my eyes at it because it's so exaggerated. Like New York is fine. Like, a random tourist getting their phone like stolen from them, or like a shooting somewhere in the Bronx is not like, it doesn't mean that New York is dangerous. It's just like, yeah, there are areas where you don't want to go, but normally most of the city is fine. And this time around, though, like I was talking to Gabby. Gabby was like born and raised in New York. She also usually rolls her eyes on all of these news, especially because like MAGA Republicans are consistently trying to make New York sound much more dangerous than it is, sort of because it's a very democratic state. But this time around, it is actually quite dangerous. And so one of the things that happened to New York is 10,000 immigrants from the border were transported to New York and just dropped off there with no assistance, no housing, like no means of being helped in any way. And so the crime rates are raising because there are 10,000 people that have just been stranded there. Like they were just dropped in New York because it's a sanctuary city, and they were not given any assistance. They were not given like any instructions for any assistance, no housing, no jobs, no like paperwork, no anything. They were just like dropped off there. So yeah, that definitely is a contributing factor. And there is also just a lot going on. So Gabby, for instance, literally says that she is like super uncomfortable walking around. She's super uncomfortable getting in the subway. And both of us are usually like, no, we're not, we're pretty thick-skinned. So if Gabby says that she feels like it's dangerous and she does not feel safe, then I like very much trust that it really doesn't feel safe at the moment. So yeah, that's that on New York. Well, they were broke hair. They were dropped off there. I lived there 07, 08. Well, I lived there until 3 months ago. So, same in Chicago. Yeah, but Chicago, like, I think Chicago has gotten like really bad since the start of the pandemic. Like, Chicago was always an interesting city, but since the start of the pandemic, I feel like it's gotten like really, really bad. Sinona. Okay, well, Cindy is going to keep eating her snack, and she's going to keep making snack noise, and you're going to keep hearing it. Why are you looking at her so funny?
So cute.
She is adorable. So for those of you who are just joining, Nick is here. Nick is, you know him as Makola in the comments. He's here from England. He's very British in it.
Too British.
Too British. He gives me shit for my American accent, continuously. What are the words that you were making fun of me for?
Oh, it could be any.
Anyways, he's a little entitled in it.
I'm British.
Mm-hmm. He is. So anyways, he's visiting Ukraine to study Ukrainian, which is very admirable. Tell him to bugger off. So he's visiting Ukraine to learn Ukrainian, and he's here for a month, and I'm, just supervising. Bring him for good beef borscht at the Opera House hotel dining room in Kyiv. Remember, the British colonized the U.S. Also, the way that we speak in the U.S. is allegedly the original English. Opera Hotel is in Lviv, and we are in Kyiv. Hello from Buckinghamshire, England. That's Demon Orb.
Buckinghamshire.
Oh, fuck off.
That's better.
There is one in Kyiv also. Oh, he's definitely aggressively British. How is it the original English? Because that's how people spoke when they moved here. And then the English people were like, oh, these these shits that we sent overseas, we don't want to sound like them. So we're going to stop speaking like we fucking have nuts in our mouth all the time.
I'm not going to say anything.
No, you're not. Oh, sad. Actually, it was New Amsterdam before it was New York.
Yeah.
Well, are we really going to hash up the past? Why? Tell him to say garage.
Garage.
Ew. That is gross.
We do not say garage.
It's a French fucking word.
Yeah. And what language are you speaking right now?
Oh, I'm sorry. How do you say rendezvous? Rendezvous? Yeah, okay, right.
That's what English people.
Yeah, right. Rendezvous is exactly what English people say. It's garage. It's a French word. No, it's not a garage. Oh, you're being asked to say schedule.
Oh, God. How I say it?
Yeah.
Schedule.
Oh.
I don't say schedule.
No, he doesn't say schedule. I'm so sorry.
I'm above schedule.
No, you're above. How does he pronounce water or or washer? How do you say washer?
Washer.
How about pico de gallo?
Is that like Mexican food or something? Pico de gallo.
Yeah, but like before I said that the correct way, how would you have said that?
Hey, I speak Spanish, okay? A bit. I don't say gallo.
Oh, he's posh boy English, Yulia. Yeah, he, he lived in Singapore for a long time. He's unfortunately not from Sheffield, my favorite place in the UK. Aluminum?
Aluminium.
Oh, is it aluminium?
It is aluminium, actually.
It's aluminum.
I think your viewers will agree with me.
I don't think anyone except for the demon orb will. And I mean, like, that's who we want to agree with you. Ask him why do they say drink drive instead of drinking and driving?
It's quicker. I don't know.
They're lazy. Hi, Cheryl. Sorry, we have an Englishman here from our channel, and we're currently making fun of him. So if you would like, ask him to say 1776.
Are they trying to start a fight with me?
Yeah. I think so.
The day we let America grow up and leave.
The day you let America grow up and leave, you let America grow up and leave.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Rick. Oh my gosh. Hello.
Hey, Rick.
Oh, you watch Rick as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, Rick, a man who watches you, he's from England and he's very annoying. He's here in Ukraine to learn Ukrainian. And currently he's on my couch because I'm supervising and he's English AF. And hence we're making fun of him. Russia is shaking in pens. I think he's a bit off in history. Oh, also, okay, the last one. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck, woody, could chuck, woodchuck, wood.
This just doesn't sound right in English. Where in England is he from?
Oh, God knows. All over the place. London, Malvern, Newcastle, Sheffield, Lancaster.
He moved a lot.
Portsmouth, born in Portsmouth.
How do you say governor?
Why is this stream about me now?
Because it's funny.
Governor.
Governor.
Like, is that weird?
Governor.
Governor, not governor. It's governor. Governor. Oh, governor. They want me to say governor. Okay, got it. I'm not Cockney, by the way.
We speak proper in England, the King's English. Oh, is it the King's English? It was the Queen's English like 3 months ago. And now where is she? Look where that got her.
Yeah, not so smart now, is she?
Is she? Governor. Cheers, hi Mark. I do say governor. Can you say Mustang?
Is that even a thing?
Yeah.
Saying Mustang? Mustang. Is that weird? Why are you laughing at that? It's Mustang.
Yulia, I'm going to buy him a top hat and a monocle. Like, the funny thing is, like, he's not nearly as pretentious as for some reason he seems in the past, like, 30 minutes, but this is very good entertainment. It's been like, like, how many hours? Like, maybe 6 hours now that I've just been made fun of for saying various things as I normally would in American English. Funny stream. Do you go to Free Azov this Sunday? Yes. Well, I'm actually taking Nick to Free Azov because he moved here. He came here for a month last Sunday, and he was passing by the Free Azov protest on his way to his host family, and he was like, it was like 2:30, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get there, and then I'm gonna go to the protest." I'm like, "It ends at 3. I don't think you're gonna make it."
Yeah.
So he really wants to go. Hi, Melissa. Core Blimmy Governor. This is fine. How do you do?
This is too much racism.
What's Core Blimmy or Blimey Governor? This is a fine. How do you do? The fuck does that mean? Sorry.
Blimey, God, no.
Blimey. What is blimey? Okay, do we have an Australian person volunteering to come up on the live while I do the news and just say things in a weird way as well? Yes, the Dutch should retake New York. Oh, I beg to differ. See you there, out to sleep, have a good night. See you there. And good night, Rick. It's a one-off. Okay, Cindy is drinking an exorbitant amount of water, so I'm not excited because she's gonna need to go for a walk now that she's drank all that water. Hi, Mr. G.
I'll take her.
On a walk?
Yeah. Well, like a short walk, so she can pee.
So you can smoke a cigarette. See, it's so funny because this man has been volunteering to take Cindy on walks. Like literally, I'm not even like, oh, I'm like, she's gonna need to go on a walk at some point. And he's like, oh, I can go. So she could go on a walk. Meanwhile, look at him with his Lucky Strikes in the background. I knew it. He's like, oh, I can go. Anyways, alrighty. I think we're ready to start the news. 22 minutes and 15 seconds of making fun of Nick. Trying to get the bone out of the bowl still. No, she stopped doing that. I think she's like come to terms with the fact that it's not a real bone. Lucky Strikes, lame.
I mean, they're cigarettes.
They're not Benson and Hedges. They're not Benson and Hedges. You're so pessimistic. So rude.
Oh, sorry. Benson and Hedges are great.
No. It's the, yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yes. Jesus Christ. Gonna give him unfiltered menthol cigarette. I don't know. Thanks for the chuckles. Benson and Hedges are lady cigarettes. Cheryl's second cousins live in Devon. Real men smoke Camels or Marlboros.
I don't know what.
Я не чую тривоги.
I don't know what everyone's got against Lucky Strikes.
I don't know. They're not lucky and they don't strike the target. I don't know. It's because he's from England where sun doesn't shine. I know. He's quite pasty, right? We were walking around. Hi, Nazar. We were walking around Kyiv and it's like, you know, like early spring weather. It's like chilly outside. And he's like, oh, that's like summer in England. Tropical weather. And I'm like, all right. Cool. UK because the USA is an embarrassment. Yeah, I feel you on that. I try to just, you know, not talk about it too much because it personally hurts me because the US is my second home, you know. The nuclear installation was de-energized due to the Russian attack on Kharkiv. It is about the world's only scientific nuclear facility called Neutron Source and storage of nuclear materials. Now it is powered by a generator. Я не поміняла назву, я забула. Дякую, що сказала. Це щось, хрен знає якого часу. I've missed you. Aw. Hi, Crystal. It is always sunny in England above all the clouds. Hi, Linotello. Speaking of England, actually today, there are lots of news about English politicians. Don't we all love English politicians? British Defense Secretary Grant Shapps, in a column for The Telegraph, remarked, "We have transitioned from a post-World War to a World War world to a pre-World War world." He highlighted the threats posed by Russia, China's increasing aggression, Iran's regional destabilization efforts through proxies, and North Korea's nuclear provocations, noting that these forces are aligning against democracy. Shapps called on NATO countries to bolster their defense capabilities and meet the commitment of spending 2% of GDP on defense. He expressed concern over some countries failing to meet this target, emphasizing the need to prioritize security. Similarly, British Foreign Minister David Cameron conveyed a similar message during his visit to Brussels for the NATO Foreign Ministers Summit. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk also spoke about the shift in eras, declaring the end of a blissful peace and the onset of a new, potentially perilous era. Meanwhile, U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Kurt Campbell highlighted Russia's significant military recovery since its invasion of Ukraine, with defense spending reaching 6% of GDP in 2024. He noted support from China, North Korea, and Iran, though this assessment contradicts views from the Pentagon and U.S. allies in Europe. Overall, these statements underscore growing concerns about global security dynamics and the need for concerted efforts to address emerging threats. Well, I do agree with him. The discussion in the UK about the post-World War era and pre-World War era has been going on for a couple of months now. And Grant Shapps said that a couple of months ago. Maybe he didn't write that in a column, and now it's getting more traction and attention, but he did say that quite a while ago. I agree with him, and we've been, I would say that we are in World War III. It's just a different type of World War III than we would imagine, right? It's just happening in the territory of one country. But I do agree with the sentiment, and I do agree that it needs to be talked about more, because as in, like, we are not in the stage of peace, right? We are not in the post-World War II stage. We are at the stage of destabilization in the world. If, to put it in a different language than World War. And I don't appreciate how little politicians talk about it and how much politicians whitewash it and just skip it, because it is a really big topic, and it is really important. And I find it wild that people try to kind of not talk about it and just kind of sweep it under the rug, because it's not reasonable. We're in the early stage of World War III, exactly. The British Foreign Secretary Cameron called on his European colleagues to exert pressure on the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Johnson, to bring the Ukraine aid project to a vote. He believes that European foreign ministers should play a significant role in this matter. French President Macron stated that Russia may attempt to disrupt the Olympic Games in Paris. He emphasized, "We have no doubt about this. Attacks can also occur in informational terms." NATO is skeptical that Putin is planning a large-scale mobilization in the immediate future. The alliance's assessment suggests that the Russian leader will likely postpone announcing the next wave of mobilization for now. According to NATO, data provided by an anonymous official, Russia currently has the capability to recruit approximately 30,000 additional troops per month. which is necessary to replenish losses and sustain offensive actions. The official also referenced Putin's recent decree on conscription into the army. Considering these factors, the official added, this may indicate that the regular draft cycle will suffice for the time being. Well, that depends if it's sustained, if we're talking about sustaining the current efforts, or if we're talking about Russia trying to plan a larger offensive. Though it doesn't seem like Russia is going to try to take Kharkiv, it does seem like Russia is just threatening it in order to demoralize the population. Russia wants to destroy Kharkiv, not try and occupy it, because the fortifications in Kharkiv are insane, and they have had 2 years to prepare for this. So yeah. So I wanted to actually read you a story that I found today, that I found very interesting today. I did share it on my Twitter, but no one's really talking about it. And I think that it's incredibly important, and it's a subject that no one really talks about ever. And it is about Russia's weaponization of minorities, its own minorities in Russia, and also minorities that they quite literally import from Africa. Several Africans were injured in a Ukrainian drone attack on Tatarstan. Russia is now exploiting the attack to spark anti-Ukrainian feelings. If anything, however, this incident can elucidate a gendered and racialized reality behind Russia's charm offensive in Africa. So here is what the girl says.
And I'm from Kenya. I'm a person in color. I came to work and study at Alabuga Polytech in the field of service and hospitality. And I'm going to work at Shokolanitsa. I am fine now. Those who attack our hostel today are real barbarians, and they deserve serious condemnation. In my opinion, they wanted to intimidate us, but I want to tell you, they did not succeed. You won't scare me, because Alabuga is a strong place and you'll get through this.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Chinoma.
So I'm from Kenya. I'm a person of color. Those who attacked our hostel today are real barbarians. The person in the video says, they're one of the participants of the Alabuga START program launched in Russia after the invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine did not attack a university. Let's hold your horses here. Alabuga CEZ contains a site where military drones that will later be sent against Ukrainian cities and civilians are constructed. The program targets young people from countries that Russia officially recognizes as friendly, mostly from Africa. Through ads in Russian international media and on the program's social media accounts, they are recruited to move to Russia. This is what it looks like. This is one of the ads, and it says, high salary, housing, and education. Reasons to choose Alabuga START International program. Specifically, they're invited to join the Alabuga Polytech College in the Tatarstan town of Alabuga. Alabuga START participants are required to work more than study. In a nearby facility, students are involved in the mass production of what college calls boats. The boats is just a euphemism for Shahed drones, which Russia previously used to buy from Iran, but which it now produces itself in large numbers. Dozens of them are sent to Ukraine nearly every day, murdering people all across the country. The Alabuga START Facebook account has many photos of the newly arrived students. The college takes pictures of them just in the airport. The main question, and someone has already asked it in the comments on Alabuga's Facebook page, is this. Why do Alabuga only take women? There is something fishy with this Alabuga program thing. Indeed, only female students younger than 22 can come to the program. As the Russian investigative project Protocol found out, Alabuga's director Timur Shagivaliev argued that male students from Africa can be too aggressive and dangerous. In one of his interviews, Shagivaliev said that the female-only admission policy is meant to prevent the emergence of ethnic diasporas and foster their integration into society. At the program, there is no room for men of color. According to protocol, women of color at Alabuga are officially designated as mulatto. This is one of the three racialized categories. The rest are either Tajiks, a term that is often used for people from Central Asia in general, or specialists, apparently Russians. Protocol says that the students spend 12 hours a day producing the drones. African women live in isolation from other students. It is not clear whether they actually assemble the drones or, as Protocol suggests, are used as low-skilled labor. To read more about how race informs Russian African initiatives, here's my earlier piece on the widely hyped Afro villages. You can read the piece on the MoscowTimes.com. It's called Russia's African Villages Are White Supremacy in Disguise. So Alabuga drones, while this person was writing this thread, Alabuga drones attacked Kharkiv, hitting several apartment complexes and killing at least 4 people. So if you would like to read more about this, I reposted this on my Twitter, and you can find it there, and you can read all the articles and look at all the sources. So you can find it there. My Twitter is the same as YouTube. It's at YEWLEEA. So is my Instagram, and so is all of my other social medias, including Patreon, I believe. My high school friend was in a punk rock band named Tragic Mulatto. She must be a prophet. Interesting. NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg clarified that Ukraine is not requesting combat units from the alliance, but is seeking increased military assistance. Hi, Todd. Good to see you. It's been a while. He emphasized that NATO is not and will not become directly involved in the conflict. Sin. Oh my gosh. Sinny, stop it. Sinny, why didn't you tell me that this entire time she's been doing this?
I thought you knew.
No.
She's very loud.
I just spaced out. Could you maybe pick her up and maybe distract her, because this is just not the time and the place for her to do that? The Institute for the Study of War reported that Kremlin spokesperson Peskov, Defense Minister Shoigu, and Foreign Minister Lavrov have intensified information operations aimed at pressuring Ukraine into negotiations and instilling fear in the West to constrain their support. Military analysts noted Shoigu's attempts to use threats to deter France from supporting Ukraine while pretending to advocate for peace talks. This is part of a broader Russian information campaign aimed at coercing Western countries to pressure Ukraine into negotiations on Russia's terms. Peskov's statements about direct confrontation between NATO and Russia suggest that the occupiers will ramp up existing information operations to compel Western self-restraint. Lavrov also engaged in information operations by pretending to be interested in negotiations while condemning Ukraine's peace proposal and suggesting Russia's readiness to negotiate on terms favorable to the Kremlin during a meeting with foreign ambassadors from non-Western countries. These people drive me crazy. Also, the reason why they're focusing on France is because Emmanuel Macron a couple of weeks ago woke up and chose violence against Russia, finally. And he just sort of I don't know, maybe was hit on the head with something. But in serious terms, I think he is just realizing that the serious repercussions of not supporting Ukraine if the US doesn't come through, because then Europe is screwed. So he's trying to sort of, take lead on convincing the other countries and the rest of the allies to actually get off their back and do something. But so he recently said that, we shouldn't be scared of Russia escalating. It's Russia who should be scared of us escalating. And he's right, because that's literally what is going to stop Russia. Letting Russia think that the West is scared of poking it is what gives Russia all the reasons and all the goal to do what it does. Despite India's recent moves towards closer cooperation with the West and expressions of interest in strengthening ties with Ukraine, New Delhi is unlikely to take drastic measures that could significantly impact its relations with Russia. According to Voice of America, while the recent visit of Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba to India marked positive developments in bilateral cooperation, India is unlikely to fully align itself with Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. During his visit, Kuleba and his Indian counterparts discussed various projects in trade, agriculture, economy, and humanitarian aid for Ukraine. However, Kuleba was unable to persuade Indian authorities to take a more decisive stance against Russian aggression, which was one of the main objectives of the trip. Despite urging India to demonstrate more leadership in the international arena and distance itself from Russia, local experts suggest that New Delhi continues to pursue a balanced approach. While India has cultivated closer ties with the US and the West in the recent years, it remains cautious in its relations with Moscow. Also, you guys, I think that Karina is Russian, so unless I can... Well, then maybe don't use Russian when you communicate with me or anyone, because I don't speak it. But also, yeah, sure, they're not doing Привет. They're not going to do much. But France actually is planning. I just block everyone Russian immediately, so that's why. But okay, not Russian. So yeah. I mean, the Western leaders do say a lot and then don't do enough. But the thing is, so Grumpy actually recently had told me about an article, and I haven't really spoken about it because I haven't researched it enough. But apparently France is investing like a gajillion dollars into, or euros into, completely reforming their military by 2025. So within a year. And they're going to be modernizing all of the Mirages and modernizing all of the Mirages and all of the Leclercs and their like BTR, their APCs. And so all of the ones that are not going to be eligible for modernization are going to be sent to Ukraine. So that's about 30 to 40 Mirages, which is aircraft, like 1,700 tanks or APCs and 400 tanks or APCs. I forgot which is like which amount for which. But that's huge. That's a lot. That's a lot. And if it's by 2025, then that's within a year. So yeah, so that's kind of, Mirage is a good aircraft. Yeah, it is. And also like these are Mirage 2005s. So like a more modern version of the Mirage 2000. But just those that are not going to be fully modernized for like the most modern tech that France has. And I do think that's a very admirable move from them and like something that will really help. Yes, we know that aircraft has to be trained on, that's what's going to happen because everything has to be trained on, but Ukraine does not have time to do that. So all of these programs are shortened, and Ukrainians have been doing fantastic at acquiring skills for all of this equipment in a shorter period of time than normal, because we're very much interested in learning those skills. Okay, the new government of Portugal, led by Prime Minister Montenegro, strongly supports Ukraine's accession to the EU. The minister acknowledged that the previous socialist government under former Prime Minister Antonio Costa was largely supportive of Ukraine. However, there were some fluctuations regarding the issue of enlargement, which created ambiguity. France is really committed. Even Le Pen and Macron have reached an agreement to help Ukraine. Yeah, Le Pen flipping and sort of flipping a switch and deciding that she's pro-Ukrainian now was quite surprising. But also, I mean, I think she's realized that her radical position on Russia is what is going to tank her career. And also, I do believe that she's probably not getting paid by Russia anymore, and they're not sponsoring her anymore because they've realized that it might not be the best use of their money. Japan has announced new sanctions against Russia, banning the export of various industrial goods to the aggressor country. Good. The United States and Germany remain opposed to inviting Ukraine to join NATO, so it won't happen at the Washington summit. No, not enlargement of Ukraine, to Ukraine, enlargement of the EU. According to the New York Times, NATO is reluctant to accept Ukraine as a new member because it doesn't want to be drawn into the largest land war in Europe since 1945 through the alliance's collective security pact. The US and Germany continue to resist Ukraine's NATO invitation, echoing last year's stance at the Vilnius summit. Efforts are focused on specifying the conditions Ukraine must meet to begin negotiations with NATO, but progress has been limited. I mean, it's interesting because, like, they don't want to be dragged into the largest land war since 1945. Yet, like, if they don't succeed in helping us and don't stop, like, limiting our weapons and our potential, they're going to be dragged into it anyway. So. Lithuania will purchase 3,000 Lithuanian drones for Ukraine and allocate 15 million euros for rehabilitation programs for wounded Ukrainian soldiers. This was agreed upon during a meeting in Vilnius by Prime Minister of Ukraine Denis Shmyhal and Prime Minister of Lithuania Ingrida Simonaite. Lithuania is also providing 35 million euros for the Czech initiative to purchase artillery ammunition. A good picture to describe Ukrainian-Lithuanian relations. And I so agree with this. This is so adorable. Like, look at this. This is Shmyhal and the Prime Minister of Lithuania, and I find it so cute. Like, look at them. They're so happy to see each other. The Czech Republic stated that Russia has made thousands of attempts to interfere with European rail networks as part of a campaign to destabilize the EU and attempt sabotage of critical infrastructure. Moscow has been suspected of making thousands of attempts to weaken our system since Putin ordered the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. The Czech Republic's transport minister, Martin Kupka, told the Financial Times. I mean, Russia is known for its hack attacks and hackathons, and it's been really, like, doing a lot of those attempts all over the world. Russia also... Wait, what was the last name of... Wait. 1 second. 1 sec. Simonaite? Did I say it wrong, Taz? Ingrida Simonaite? Also, like, Jesus, so many question marks. So sorry. But yeah, Russia has been attempting to attack U.S. banking systems. Like, a lot of cybersecurity specialists have had to create new systems that repel Russian attacks. It's been like it's been difficult. Shimonite, sorry, SH sound in the beginning. I'm so sorry. Russians bombed the office of Doctors Without Borders in Pokrovsk-Donetsk region. This is where emergency medical humanitarian aid was provided to the residents of the region. None of the employees were injured, thankfully. This really echoes what happened to the World Kitchen workers in Gaza. And this is the Office of Doctors Without Borders. The Russian attack in Zaporizhia resulted in 2 deaths of 2 civilians, a woman and a man. Moreover, 6 people were injured, including a 9-year-old boy and his mother, as well as 2 young men aged 20 and 22, who were in moderate condition. A 55-year-old woman and 51-year-old man are in serious condition. All injured individuals are receiving necessary medical treatment at the hospital. Update, as of 6:26 p.m., 3 people were killed in Zaporizhia. The number of injured has increased to 13 people. 4 of them are in a serious condition. Here are some photos from Zaporizhia, the consequences of the attack on Zaporizhia. And this is a video from the from Zaporizhia. That looks horrifying. Russians have been using double taps. Following its use in Kharkiv earlier this week, Zaporizhia was targeted today. 3 people were killed with Russia striking again as police, rescuers, and journalists arrived on scene. According to the police, Russian forces fired 3 rockets at the city on the afternoon of April 5th, followed by 2 more shortly thereafter. The death toll rose to 3, with 13 people injured, 4 of them in critical condition. Among the injured in Zaporizhia were journalists from 1+1 and Ukrinform, who were hit by the second Russian strike in the same location. Yeah, Russians have been using double taps as their strategy. A double tap is when a missile hits and then a missile hits a building or its target, and then emergency services get to the place of impact, and they strike again, specifically to eliminate the first responders. 3 more children were brought back to Ukraine from temporarily occupied Kherson region. This is This is according to Kherson Regional Military Administration. There was another family that left with them. It was a mother and her 2 children, a 15-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. The Russians demanded that the children attend so-called Russian educational institutions. The head of the Regional Military Administration, Alexander Prokudin, stated that all the people who were rescued from the occupation are in a safe place. Doctors and psychologists are working with them. Oh my gosh. Andriy Yermak, in his fresh column in The Hill, prior to Russia's full-fledged invasion, 7,170 Protestant associations, educational institutions, and churches found refuge in Ukraine. And to this day, Ukraine retains the distinction of being Europe's largest evangelical country, with approximately 800,000 to 1 million individuals attending Protestant churches every Sunday. Despite what Putin would like Americans to believe, Ukraine is Europe's evangelical stronghold, the Bible Belt of Eastern Europe. Oh, I would not be proud of that. But that's hilarious, you know. There are over 62,000 women in Ukraine's armed forces. Olha Bihar is one of them. After the full-scale invasion, this owner of a law firm became an officer and artillery commander. And I want to show you this video about her, but I'm going to download it and send it to my computer. She is the Bakhmut witch. Bible Belt. Someone from America, can you please explain what a Bible Belt? Well, you know what? Do you want to do that?
Explain what a Bible Belt is. It's where there's a lot of very religious Christians.
Yeah, but see, and I find it funny because this is from a Ukrainian news source, right? So I think they thought Bible Belt is it's like a good thing, you know. But I find it hilarious because Bible Belt is what we in America call, you know, the places where all of those crazy freaking Christofascists live. So you know, might be a bit different than intended. It's where us Christians live. Well, no, I mean, the thing is, maybe that's what it was intended to be, but in reality, Bible Belt in America is where Christians live.
I joined the army by the call of my heart and my soul. As a lawyer, I know well that in the Russian Federation, there are no human rights, no justice, no rule of law. I wouldn't be able to live in this kind of country, so there was no choice. I stood up to defend my own.
Olha Bihar was born in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kramatorsk, earned 2 higher education degrees, founded a successful law firm, and was preparing to become a doctor of philosophy and law. However, the full-scale invasion changed everything.
My entire family is currently in the armed forces.
Yeah, she's badass, and so is her family. And I figured she deserves recognition. I like these U24 videos. Oh, you guys, I recorded a U24 voiceover a couple of days ago. And so very often I will get like corrections. So like the ministry, like basically like one of the ministries can come back and say like, oh, could you change, like, for instance, like if we said the Republic of South Ossetia and Abkhazia, like they want us to say the Abkhazian and South Ossetian Republic or something. So they never change the context or anything like that. But they might want to like change things around or like rewrite a sentence in like different words or something like that. And so today I got a few corrections, like the name changed, the name of the video changed, and like two little things. And I was re-recording it, and like I did it when I woke up, so my voice was like much raspier, and I was like not nearly as energetic as I was when I was recording the whole thing. And the feedback I got from like my creative director was literally like, "Hey, could we try this again? Because we really tried to make it work, but you sound like, you know, normal the entire time, and then it feels like you're trying to seduce someone." And I was like, this is so funny because it's like, so like, okay, I will play like a little part of it just because like, I think it's actually funny. So, one sec, because it like really doesn't, it just does not fit in here. Okay. I'm going to play the whole thing because I can't, but wait, it's loading. Come on. Come on. Come on. Why is it not doing it? It like genuinely doesn't want me to... Come on. It really doesn't want me to play it for you, huh? I'll try again. Maybe just the voice. Oh my gosh, Texans in Russia, Jesus. What is the topic of today? Oh, a lot of topics. We cover a lot of topics. Okay, let me see. Maybe this one will work. Why is it not working? It's so annoying. Did the other one upload? No. Well, I guess I can't. Sorry, I guess that's not going to happen. See. Texas is in the Bible Belt. Oh, Texas is in the Bible Belt, but Texas also does have a lot of like literally Christofascists. Not Christians, Christofascists. 4 people were killed and 13 injured in Zaporizhzhia today, including journalists. The Russians used a deadly tactic known as the double tap, and this is basically what that looked like. Yeah. So that one was awful. And, you know, Kharkiv the other day, Zaporizhzhia today, there was Dnipro last week. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Kyiv hasn't been attacked in a while. And also I'm going to do, you know, what is, I forgot what the gesture is. Jesus. No, this. Fingers crossed. Right, Jesus Christ. You guys, I'm forgetting English. It's awful. It's probably because I'm like listening to, you know, like British all day. Alrighty, guys. It is 2:03 in the morning, and I think it's time for me to go to bed, or attempt to, or start watching like a TV series before I go to bed. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. It's definitely because of British. Okay. Good night, you guys. See you tomorrow. Yeah, do you want to say a proper good night instead of just waving?
Good night, guys. Is that good enough?
No, you have to say something super British, like ta-ta.
Oh,
No one sees you. No one
probably better
sees
that
you.
way.
No one sees you.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Bridgerton.
I don't know what to say.
Bye. Oxfordish bye. No, it's not